Hello everyone, this is Sam, and in today's video we will be going back to a topic that has always gotten me fired up, the Mystic Forge. This all started last month when I released the gold making guide From Broke to Baron. A patron of mine, Flint, came to me and asked if I could make a sheet that would cover the profit made at the forge, taking into account the amount of spirit shards used. Of course, there are a few websites that already display such information, but they don't always showcase the best recipes, nor all the information needed to make the best gold on every conversion. So I started working on a sheet that would show, for every type of Mystic Forge interaction, the best gold making method. I then put to test some of the popular recipes and the ones that my sheets listed at best, to be able to see what really worked. The results are surprising, but we will talk about them after the intro. I often get the question, what do you think is the best way to spend my spirit shards, or the slightly worse, should I keep forging lodestones and tier 6 materials? My answer to both of these was usually just run the math to make sure, or use a website, but the convenience of a one-stop shop style spreadsheet was simply too appealing. However, in order to correct misunderstandings about the value of spirit shards, I felt that the best way to approach the question was to separate recipes that use spirit shards from those that don't, so as to see what kind of profit we can expect from the forge. The amount of money you get always has to be correlated to the amount of spirit shards that went into making what you just sold. If you get 5 gold but it costs you 200 spirit shards, you can probably expect me to start laughing and then direct you towards the sheet where I compare the recipes for their real worth, that is, the profit per spirit shard. It is very important to look at it because we don't all sit on a pile of thousands of them. Think about the amount you get from your daily farms instead, and how you would like to turn this amount into a few extra gold every hour. But a video is worth 1,000 words, and so we will be showcasing these 10 or more or less popular recipes that can give you gold. There won't be a specific order for the recipes I will be showcasing, but I will try to lead you along the way towards the better profit. First of all, we will talk about the classic forge upgrades with tier 6 fine materials, lodestones and the such. Then, I will go over some recipes related to very specific markets such as legendaries, minis, infusions, and finally some big ticket items. All profits I will be mentioning are after all taxes are applied for full transparency. Our front runner will be the all-time classic, the time-tested, the ever-so-average tier 6 upgrading. The recipe is simple: 50 tier 5 materials, 1 tier 6 fine material, 5 piles of crystalline dust, and 5 philosopher's stones. Here, we did 6 tries in order to show off the average try you would get doing this as part of your daily gold making plans. Over these 6 tries, our end result was 39 armored scales, meaning we were just shy of the average recorded output of 7. The math is showing up on the screen, and we made 43 silver, 86 copper, which is 14 silver and 62 copper per spirit shard. Not too good, but not too bad. Then we will be going over another classic, thought for years to be the cookie cutter given that the output felt expensive, the Lodestone upgrade. It is also one of the very few material recipes with a fixed output, meaning that there is no gamble here. You know exactly what you're getting, unlike in mobile gacha games. However, it's a bit low, and you'll be seeing how in just a moment. For this recipe, we'll be taking 2 cores, a bottle of Elonian wine, and 1 pile of crystalline dust, as well as a mystic crystal. Our profit sits at 77 silver and 48 copper, which means 25 silver and 82 copper per spirit shard. Next up, what I would call the better gamble. From the spread between the price of the base materials and the finished result, you can make bank. I am thinking tier 1 to tier 2 common material upgrade. Here we would be working with rawhide leather squares in 5 complete stacks, 5 cured thin leather squares, 5 times 5 piles of shimmering dust, and finally 10 philosopher's stones. This is a very good show of how individual tries are subject to huge variance, and also why it's better to look at your global profit and not every single roll. On this conversion, we made 3 gold, 4 silver and 65 copper, and only used a single spirit shard, meaning that this type of profit can be reached. Although, I have to admit, our tries were slightly better than the average. Yet, that's way better than the previous conversions. And now, for our next trick, a classic from an earlier Mystic Forge video, the Lunar backpiece upgrading. The recipe hasn't changed in years: 25 fireworks, one of the rare back pieces, 20 illuminant wines purchased directly from Miani, and a stack of fine essences of luck. That will net you a single exotic back piece, usually worth around 9 gold. Standing tall at 2 gold, 3 silver and 55 copper profit without spending a single spirit shard, all you need to do for this is to salvage a lot. Still on the methods that do not use any spirit shards, we have the gemstone forging. We'll go with the 10 gemstones recipe, as a single roll isn't really worth it. The recipe is a fixed one using 5 gloves of ectoplasm and 75 orbs of your choice per roll. Obviously, it is best to go for the cheapest, which is what we did here. Over 4 rolls we didn't have a single jackpot, yet netted a decent profit with a total of 1 gold, 45 silver and 16 copper, rounding it to 36 silver and 29 copper per roll. This method was best when Gen 2 legendaries were all the rage, but with the advent of the legendary armory, maybe they will get traction again. Once again, this doesn't use a single spirit shard, making it very spammable. I mentioned minis in the past when it comes to good forging ideas, and beyond simply upgrading them like you would with weapons or gems, there are some recipes that are killing it with profit. The best ones take a lot of time and steps, involving the mini mounts, so we will skip them and look at the tried and true recipe instead, the twisted minis. By throwing together a mini twisted horror, mender, river and nightmare, you get a random steam mini among the steam rider, steam hulk and steam minotaur. Getting the hulk worked out quite well for us, with a total profit of 9 gold, 62 silver and 59 copper. By the way, 2 years ago, I made a video that covered infusions, and a lot of people mentioned how the infusions themselves were expensive. But before selling an infusions, some need to be converted from an upgrade. This is done via a forge recipe using an upgrade of your picking, a +9 stat infusion, 5 mystic crystals and a glob of coagulated mist essence. The result is a solid 21 gold, 56 silver, 57 copper profit, which makes 7 gold, 18 silver and 86 copper per shard. After the making of an infusion comes the stat changing of it. For this, we will be using a Winter's Heart infusion I got last Winter's Day and swap it from its original healing power stat to power. This requires 250 snowflakes, 25 vials of powerful blood and 1 anthology of heroes. The final result of this forge is a good 36 gold and 95 silver profit, resulting in 3 gold, 69 silver and 50 copper per spirit shard. Finally, our last 2 contenders for this video will be what we call the big ticket items, which means skins made using Mystic Forge recipes. In order to keep it simple, I will be using 2 recipes I am familiar with, the first one being the River of the Mists, forged using a stack of globes of ectoplasm, 50 mystic coins, 1 eldritch scroll and 20 crystal lodestones. The profit for this one came at 28 gold, 11 silver and 90 copper, which means a measly 56 silver and 24 copper per shard. This kind of feels like we've gone full cycle back to the low end of the profit chart. However, our final item will show off a better result than what we just saw. It also takes much more resources to achieve, yet has shown throughout the years to be a good money maker. The one and only Nightfury skin, which recipe is way too long to list the steps of, but can easily be found on my sheet available for Patreons. The profit on this one was 163 gold, 79 silver, and 68 copper, rounding down to 8 gold, 18 silver, and 98 copper per shard spent. Truly an eye-opener when the commonly accepted value for spirit shards in the Guild Wars 2 community is a very low 40 silver. We're already at the end of the video. If anything, I hope you learned from it the most important lesson of making gold in the Guild Wars 2 economy. Do not blindly follow a trend or a tip you heard, and instead work on your understanding of the inner workings of the game. The sheet I used throughout last month and into the making of this video took about 20 hours to make, but the value it has for the end user definitely makes up for that time investment. Never again would I go burning through my spirit shards for small gains when I can use them in a more profitable way, although a little bit slower. Of course, I am not saying this approach fits everyone, as some gold is needed before starting up some of the recipes. However, the spreadsheet is here for this purpose, acting as a one-stop shop for information and decision-making, as it should. As always, if you have questions on how I made it and the such, the comment section is there for this purpose. Remember to like the video and subscribe, as it really helps with the YouTube algorithm and thus in the development of this channel. If you also wish to, you can follow me on social media, where I am always under the @Ajesté tag. Finally, before ending this video, I wish to thank Silveres, whose Patreon and website link are in the pinned post, for all of his help in making these sheets available. He truly is the one supporting us all in our plans to create a better Guild Wars 2 economy, where the ones who wish to put in the effort can make good coin. I also wish to thank my Patreons and Twitch subscribers for their renewed support. We're getting to the point where I can dedicate a bit more time to the channel and the content I can offer in general, so once again, huge thanks to them. If you wish to join their glorious ranks, the links are in the description for that purpose. And now, I wish every single one of you some happy trading and to get rich.